first known rules of golf were drawn up in 1744 by the Gentlemen Golfers of Edinburgh in Leith, Scotland. Since then, the game has changed dramatically. Golf courses, equipment, and not least the rules. So where do I go when I want to learn about the rules of the game today? Well, I go to the Golf Rules Questions podcast with Blakey and Roscoe, of course. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this episode of the Golf Rules Questions podcast. Well, hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Australia's leading Golf Rules Questions podcast, Golf Rules Podcast. It's the one and only Roscoe here. I've just called myself the one and only. Jeepers Weepers. I'm drinking my own bathwater here, Blakey. How are you, David? Are you well?
Well, it's quite fitting with your hat that you're wearing, isn't it?
Well, I do like to keep it humble. You're right. If you're looking at the YouTube video, I've got a hat on that says I keep it humble. Can I just give a thank you to the hat, my hat sponsor? I don't actually have a hat sponsor, but can I give a thank you to the person that provided me the hat, fellow podcaster?
You certainly can.
Well, I'm going to. Glorified Donkey, the Real Life Caddy podcast over there in Carmel, California. Pebble Beach. Gordon, Big G Daddy, thank you for sending me a couple of hats. Appreciate that. And this is part of his merchandise kit. And, he sent that across and said, look, if you guys are thinking about merchandise, here's some of the stuff that I'm rolling with. And he sent me this beautiful flat cap with, look, Blakey. Look, you can hear it, listeners. You can hear it. The patch is removable. Like he sent me like half a dozen patches so I could actually have different things. It's quite fun. There you go.
Dude, I know Andy, the average golfer, will be absolutely keen for that.
Oh, Andy, the average golfer, welcome back to the podcast listening. This is a direct chat to you and to all the other listeners. You know, Blakey is obviously starting the journey of merchandisery and starting with a hat and a T-shirt. You can go onto his website at golfersandattitude.com. There's a little pre-order section there. Very, very affordably priced. Blakey, if you stand up now for the people who look at watching on the video, on the YouTube, the growing YouTube, the massively growing YouTube, by the way, you can see the podcast art, which is in the form of a
T-shirt. I got to make a noise so that it comes over towards me. So there's the shirt that Roscoe's talking about.
There it is. So it's essentially, for those listening, Blakey's going to start flogging a couple of T-shirts and a couple of hats, just featuring the podcast art, and then just grow it from there. And once we get to the levels of the Real Life Caddy podcast, Gordon Big G is a fine Scotsman. He's from a little town called movable. Started his caddying career at Turnberry, famous open rotor course. Now caddies at Pebble Beach and has a great YouTube site himself, has a great podcast himself, and caddies for these array of people at Pebble Beach and has wonderful stories. And he's been on the Mile of Golf podcast. We stay in contact, obviously the Scottish thing, but he sent me these hats. And so he said, have a look at these. They do really well. So there you go. Andy, we'll just go with the normal hats at the start and then we'll work towards something like this for you, Andy, and anyone else. And please jump onto golfersandattitude.com and click the buttons there for any pre-order interest. You don't have to pay, just acknowledge a pre-order and we'll do our best. We'll print those up on our spare time, Blakey, eh?
Yeah, absolutely. In between working and working.
Absolutely. Now, if just back to that, the monetary it's not for a monetary thing. It's just for a bit of fun, and the emphasis on this has come from the listeners. Some people have said, you like your stickers, and so we'd like a T-shirt. So that's what it's for. There's no money in T-shirts, but not there is any money in podcasting. But we have some fun. Now, you've had a busy week. You've been off and about a little bit, yeah?
So I'm actually on holiday from my real job. So I've got a bit of time to myself, and most of that time we'll be going into GRQ and just making it better. The website's it's getting traffic, but it's looking a bit sad. So we'll try and update that, provide more education for the listeners, for the followers, for the subscribers. Just in a better way, better platform. So we'll do that, and then I'll probably head out and do some farming as well, and maybe do some rules of golf videos while I'm doing some farming.
Are you going to do some version 2 of the Cowpat videos?
Yeah, I absolutely will. I'll find some wombat holes and whatever else I can. Maybe an electric fence. I don't think I did one about an electric fence last time.
I don't think I've ever played on a golf course with an electric fence, but I'm sure
Haven't you?
No.
Oh, you're missing out.
But I know fences around on golf courses exist, not only as boundary fences. Recently we played down at Lonsdale Links, and I think I might have reminded you of why the greens were built as square greens down there, why Ashley Mead from the OCM team made some square greens. And do you remember why the greens were square?
I think that was old design back in the day.
Because fences were square. So they had fences around the greens, as they do at Brora, as an example, and the fences were square. So the greens were square to keep the sheep, the greens team, the sheep, off the course, off the greens. So there you go.
Actually, talking about Lonsdale Links, I've played there twice in the last 4 months. And when I went down there the first time, I think, the second time. I think the first time was with you. The second time was with a colleague of mine. And I filmed him right beside that fence on 16, the par 4, the little short par 4.
Yep, the one with the road hole replica bunker, the short one. Yeah, I drove it into the bunker beside the green, very long.
That's right. And with the fence, out of bounds fence, 1/2 metre from the green.
Yep.
So I posted that on TikTok and said, you're not allowed to get free relief from boundary fence. Well, it went viral, almost viral in my eyes, and I couldn't believe it. How many people thought, no, how many people said, no, I'm taking free relief, or I'm moving the fence, or, that's just ridiculous because it's an artificial object. So, I'm appearing on TikTok and trying to change and educate the minds of the masses, whether they be interested in the rules or just the social golfer that doesn't keep score. The rules are there for them.
And that's part of the reason why we're doing this episode today, is to just sound off on that a little bit, and at the risk of upsetting NYC Entrepreneur again, and being called out for wittering, and we've done a fair bit of promotion so far to get to 7 minutes in, so at the risk of wittering, let's crack on. But we will talk a little bit about that today, because I didn't know you were on TikTok. I thought that was for the young ones and dance moves and that sort of thing. Are you gonna do some dance moves?
There's these platforms. You find that niche. You find the rules of golf niche, golf rules questions sneaking in there. So there's some funny stuff. It's dance moves, but it's also funny rules of golf stuff.
You'll be on OnlyFans next, Blakey, with your
wow
golf rules OnlyFans.
I'll take my clubs in there and my podcast T-shirt.
This is a professional outfit. Let's not lower the tone of that. But
okay. Do not ask me or Roscoe what OnlyFans is.
Let's crack on. So we've got a question to answer from last week from GRQ OTW from EP 37. You may remember it. It was discussing Lena's original ball. It goes off the tee. It looks to become stuck in a tree. After a small search around the area, a very brief one, she heads back to the tee to hit a provisional. She hits a provisional into the same spot, and 2 balls fall out of the tree. What's the rule?
Rightio. So a ball was found where the original ball was suspected to be, and this was within the 3-minute search period. So when I say found, they saw a ball come out of the tree when the provisional went into the tree. This was within the 3 minutes. So then Lena has time, as long as she doesn't unreasonably delay play, to get down and identify whether that ball that popped out of the tree is her original ball. Even if that took more than the allotted 3-minute search time, you've got to find it within the 3 minutes, and you've just got to identify it. That could be outside the 3 minutes, but as long as you haven't unreasonably delayed your play in getting to that ball, it is okay. So Lena's then identified that it was her ball. So the provisional ball is an abandoned ball. It doesn't become the ball in play, and you just put it in your bag. It's a movable obstruction. So what do we do with the original ball? Well, we're 95% virtually certain that the provisional ball caused the original ball to move. Now, there is no penalty for that. That would be pretty harsh if there was. But there is no penalty for the provisional ball causing your original ball to move. But now this is the tricky part. Now we need to estimate where the original ball would have come to rest. So we believe it came to rest in the tree before it was disturbed by the provisional ball. So we need to estimate where in the tree it would have come to rest. That was the place it was sitting until it was moved by the provisional bull. It could have been 3 meters up the tree. It could have been closer to the ground. It depends on the tree, obviously. And it would be need to be estimated when standing underneath or standing beside the tree to work that out. It is an estimate. It is your best estimate. So you can work it out. Now, possibly the player couldn't even get to the spot where the bull was estimated to have been at rest. So they would need to take, their only option would be to take unplayable bull rule under 19.2. You'd use the spot on the ground directly below the spot of the reference point, and then you've got your back on the line or lateral relief or stroke and distance. If you could get to the spot, if Lena could get to the spot where the ball would have come to rest, but it won't stay at rest, and then the spot there, it could stay at rest, the nearest, most similar spot, no nearer the hole, that it could stay at rest, but the player can't reach it, then they would also need to take an unplayable. That would be their only option. Yeah, I'm looking at your confused look on your face, Roscoe. This is great. However, if the player could get to the spot where the ball was estimated to have been at rest, but it won't stay at rest, the nearest spot where the ball would stay at rest may be at the base of the tree, and the player would be required to place it there. The player then could play it as it lies or take an unplayable. So I hope listeners have heard that one okay, and you're more than welcome to ask me any questions about that one. You basically, you got to work out where it came to rest. That's an estimate, and then you got to try and put it there. If you can't put it there, if you can't even get to that spot, you're going to have to take an unplayable. If you can get there, but it's not going to stay at rest, then the spot directly on the ground, directly below that reference point, may be where you So you work your way down the tree, and then get to a spot where it will come to rest, but after you've got the ball to rest, then you can take an unplayable if you wish to.
Okay, that I think the summary part of that made a lot more sense to me. There was a lot of options there, but the working your way down the tree, that's interesting. So if you're in overhanging branches, then you've got to work your way down the tree, and does that mean if there's a little fork in the tree, you can place it there and say, right, I'm going to place it there, but I can't play it, so now that's unplayable. Now you go to the base of the tree and say, I'm going to drop it here. Yeah,
that's spot on. Now, if the branches where it came to rest were further away from the hole than the trunk, then you wouldn't be able to place it in the trunk.
Okay, yep.
And those branches may be quite skinny, meaning that you wouldn't actually want to try and get to that spot. So your only option is to take an unplayable.
Yeah. Okay. But as the big point is, if she's replayed the provisional and it knocks it out, and she's found it within the 3 minutes, then the real ball, the original ball, is the one that's becomes the reference. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the provisional ball is just abandoned. We've found the original. It's been moved by the provisional.
Yep.
I'd say count yourself lucky, because otherwise it would have been 3 off the tee. Now potentially 1 or even 2 off the tee, which is 2 and hitting 3 down the fairway. Yeah.
So interesting scenario today. Not really the same, but playing with Andy Marr, and we were playing at Peninsula Kingswood, and we were on the 13th north, and I've just piped my little 4-iron down there, and Mari's hit his whatever it was, and his ball's run past mine and just clipped it, and my ball just moved a wee bit. So I put my ball back, yeah?
Yeah, you put your ball back. This happened when I was observer with Langers at the President's Cup. We were refereeing the Tiger Woods-Abraham Answer match on the 9th hole of the composite course, which is 17 West.
Yeah, tough par 4.
Abraham Answer hit his ball first, and Tiger hit his ball, and it hit Abraham's ball. So Abraham just had to put his back. I think that was what it was. It was either, well, it was only two people playing, so it was either Tiger put his ball back or Abraham put his ball back. It might have been that Tiger put his ball back because I was probably nervous when I was talking to him. But that they didn't actually see it happen. Whereas in your situation, you did see it happen, but everyone else saw it happen. So because we're refereeing, we have to, we're allocated. We have to, put it back. We're allocated. If we're roving, we just wouldn't get involved, which is quite an interesting segue, because I had one the other day where a referee got involved when they shouldn't have, and it sort of made it a little bit of a more interesting scenario.
The situation that happened today was we actually thought that his ball had hit mine, and mine had pinged mine much further down the fairway, because there was a collision, and then one shot off down the fairway. And even until we got to the balls, I thought mine was the one that had been knocked further. So the question, it was, my ball was in the spot, so it looked like one had hit and stopped, and then one had kept going, but it actually wasn't that. That wasn't the case. So it didn't really hit it very much. So it was like, where was it? It didn't look like it moved very far. So we just sort of moved it.
That's it. It's an estimate, and you place it. Yeah. You don't know exactly where it is. It used to be a drop. Now it's a place. Yep. You just estimate it. It's a best estimate. And, a similar situation happened to Jordan Spieth and Ricky Fowler about 6 years ago. Ricky's hit one. It's hit the ball. Jordan's ball that was on the green at the back of the green, spat it out the back. Everyone thought it was Ricky's ball, but it was Jordan's ball. So Jordan got to move his back, and Ricky's ended up about 2 feet from the hole or something like that. So talking about Ricky, we haven't really heard about Ricky for a while. Hopefully he gets his form right.
Yeah, well, a couple of interesting other things, and this is just general admin, but so at PK we're still playing preferred lies in the bunker, so there's no rakes.
That's the directive by the Victorian government.
Preferred lies in the bunker, and flags still no touchy.
Yep.
But it was preferred lies up until recently in the wastelands as well. But so they've taken the preferred lies out of the wastelands and kept it in the bunker. Today I had 2 plug lies in sand, one in a bunker and then one in a wasteland, right up a face, and I had to just deal with that. One to my advantage, one to my disadvantage, and it's interesting that now different parts of Australia are going with rakes and without rakes, and I much prefer. It made me realise that playing at Barnbougle the other week, I do like playing with the pin out putting. I'm not a fan of pin in for the putting for the short ones. It's just too much going on in my eyes. But anyway, we digress.
Yeah, well, where did I play the other day? Oh, Metro. They've got really flash cups that keep the ball, up like quite high in the cup. Whereas most of the places that I play at, they're using the old cut down pool noodle.
Now, is it Victoria? Do they have to? Or is it a recommendation? Because I'm sure that at Mornington there was no foam noodles in the cups, and pins were coming out there, and they had rakes in the bunkers. I'm sure. I could be totally wrong, and just my mind just.
Well, unfortunately, Victoria has been really slow on this. They still think there could be an issue with people touching shared equipment and. On the golf course, which just makes completely no sense to me when you can touch,
anything,
touch the door going into bloody McDonald's or KFC or wherever else. But apparently in Victoria still, no, not apparently, it is a strong recommendation by the government, as in you have to do it. As in if a COVID case comes out of a golf course and they weren't doing this, they would certainly get a big kick up the bum.
All right. Well,
but for regional Victoria, I've played many courses in the last week last month that you can move the flag. They've got rakes back in the bunkers, so it's each to their own apparently. Even though we, the organisation I work for, still have to tell people the Victorian government directives are this.
Okay. Well, we've skirted around the rules and different situations, but, you mentioned it with TikTok and this example that you raised about Lonsdale Links and the fence and how people commented around that, no, I'm not taking a penalty for having to play from that. And it just raises the situation that with golf at the moment, so many new golfers, and I'm seeing these guys and girls on a daily basis that just want to get out there and play golf, but really have very, I wouldn't say very little, but a developing concept of the rules of the game. Now, you're on the side of the ledger that's all about the rules, only the rules. Everything is about the rules, and there's not too many ways around it. And clearly, some of the commentary on the YouTube and whatever else, people sort of have a different understanding of how they should interpret the rules, and they want to interpret the rules their own way. And I guess it's just sort of led to the point where we thought, well, we might just have a bit of a rebrief for the rules and why they exist, because we know that there are some developing and newer golfers that listen, and there are some very astute rules people that do listen as well. So, I guess it's it's a good thing because it shows that the game's popular. It shows that people are coming to it. If they've got questions, that's a good problem to have. Keeps you on a job, keeps this podcast going. But at some point, like if you are one of the newer golfers, you should invest some time in understanding the rules, because you will want to go and play on a corporate day. You will want to go and play in the building industry, corporate golf day, or whatever business you might be in. And you'll be required to play by the rules. If you don't, well, then you're breaking them. And if there's prizes and trophies and that sort of thing, you don't want to be the person that wins something and hasn't played by the rules and the integrity of the game. So, Blakey, I've sort of introduced that topic, but it's your thing. This is your run sheet that I'm reading from. What are the rules there for?
Yeah, well, we've talked about this before. To me, golf is more than just swinging your club at the ball, and trying to get in the hole. It's more. And to me, it means more. And I might be a dying breed, but to me, it's playing within the rules of the game to try and get your personal best. It doesn't matter so much about playing in a competition, but I do like to compete against others. Mainly like to compete just within the 3 or 4 that I'm playing with. But a lot of it's very hard because I'm so in deep with the rules of golf. It's very hard not to take it personally when people have a go. But on the other side of the spectrum, you can understand that some of the rules do seem ludicrous. And the other words they use are out of date, pompous, and completely nonsensical. I play by the rules just because I know them. For me, it's quite easy to play by them, but I can understand that I've put in years of study and years of service to the game, and sort of can work it out. And it would be a shame if I was a guru and had no idea. So that would be a bit disturbing. But I just wanted to run, as you said, just sort of this. Why do we actually have them, and why can they, or why are they so complex? The golf course is huge. On average, it's about 150 acres. You could certainly put a lot of cows and sheep on that. So it's a big area of space. There's many different aspects to the course, including the teeing areas. If you've got an 18-hole course, you have 18 of them, and it could be different colours for people who want to play from the furthest, or people who want to play forward of that. Fairways and rough. Fairways and rough could be fairways most likely, the trimmed down neat grass, but rough could be anything. Long grass, trees, sand, lava, Could be anything. Bunkers, well, they're sand. Most of them are in a, as you can see in the ones in our pictures, most of them are in a hollowed out area. But I have seen a Tom Doak design where he's put a pile of sand and called that a bunker. Putting greens, that's the real epitome of greenkeeping and what's that word that I keep forgetting? I call it horticultural, but it's
agronomy.
Agronomy, that's right, agronomist. So that's where the real money is too. That's where everyone knows you or your course. Oh yeah, that course has really nice greens, really good greens. Of course, there's an out of bounds area, so it could be the Pacific Ocean, could be a fence at Lonsdale Links, could be White Stakes, and then you got penalty areas which have got water. So there's all these different aspects. So a lot of them are natural, and there's just those different aspects where there's got to be all these different rules for them. There's many different ways to play the golf, whether you're taking the corner on or laying up, but also the format, whether you're playing stroke play or match play or playing in a foursome or a four ball, in a teams or a side kind of competition. And then, so you've got to have rules around those kind of aspects. The equipment used can vary as there are choices. Players are trying to gain an advantage by using equipment and technology that has just been released. 10 years ago, taking your mobile onto the golf course was taboo. It was seen as, not only is it annoying for some people, if they're making phone calls, which phones were mainly built for in the first place, but then but what if they're getting a measurement, or what if they're finding out what the weather, what the temperature's going to be, or what the wind's going to be. And, people have got training aids that they're building. So there's all these, rules have got to adopt or adapt to all these kind of situations. And lastly, and what makes rules, why people have this perception that rules are so complex, and this is the main one. Golf is a self refereeing or self-governed sort of self-ruling sport. You are the referee. You can ask your marker, you can ask your opponent about a certain situation, but you're supposed to know all the rules. If you go and play soccer, do you need to know all the rules in soccer? Do you need to know all the rules in rugby? In netball, do you need to know all the rules in netball? In netball, you have positions, and you got to stay within, a certain third or within the certain parts of the court, and you can't go in where you're supposed to shoot and stuff like that. If you're the goal shoot, you'll know where you can go. You're not going to know where the centre's going to go or whatever. Maybe you will, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it's specialised, and they've got a referee telling you what you can and can't do. The umpire in a cricket match, they know the rules, and when the ball is bowled and something happens, they'll know how to deal with it, and they'll know how to signal a run, and they'll know how to signal whether it's out, and blah blah blah. In golf, you're supposed to know. And it's easy in the professional land when you've got referees, but amateurs, you're supposed to know. When you're playing with Mari tonight, whether you're playing this morning, whether you're playing by the rules or not, you're still supposed to know. And so, do people put the time and energy into learning the rules? No, but then they're happy to go and comment on YouTube or TikTok and have their go. But I shouldn't take it personally, and we should know that 20% complain, 80% of the complaints are from 20% of the population. That's always the way, but it's just funny how it all works.
I sense you sort of, don't take it personally, because you're providing a great service. So don't take it personally, and take it positively that if you get this sort of feedback, it's because people are interested in golf, and people are doing golf, like we started off by saying. So it's like anything on social media. People comment all the time. So it's the way of the world. We've got to accept that. So don't take it personally, but I guess by doing this, by having statements like that, and small rants and positions of information, people will understand. But my message is, I think people, that are new to the game and don't want to play by the rules, that you adhere by. And I can understand why every time you hit a golf course that, you want to adhere to every rule, because it's your craft, it's your profession. Plumbers don't go to, a cash job on, their mate's house and take shortcuts and say, man, I'm just going to do it this way and this way. There are rules that guide that profession. They've got to sign a certificate to say, this is legal, safe, and, roadworthy. So that's a little bit like you. You've got to do that because it's you're practicing your craft every time you get the opportunity to play, which is not enough. So that's why. But for the new golfers, they have fun, and I see them play indoor golf, and where they've only got to hit 3 buttons, mulligan, pick up, or penalty rehit. And you should see the sulks come on when they hit pick up, because they hit it out of bounds, and the computer tells you that you're out of bounds. They're usually in the water at Pebble Beach or on the outside of the cart path at Pebble Beach, and they come along and say, "Oh, mate, penalty, pick up." And that to me signifies their sort of concept of what happens when you have a penalty. You pick it up and you pick the ball up and you take it back. In the computer sense, in the Sims, pick up is like you're telling the computer, I've had a gutful of this hole, I'm over it, I'm out of this hole, and I won't see you to the next tee. So it gives them an automatic 12. And you should see the sads come up when people pick up and they go, mate, I'm picking up, I want to hit another one, and they get 12 and they don't come, hey, mate, I can't play. I said, oh, did you hit pick up? Yeah, because I was in the water. I pick it up. Yeah, that's what you do, mate. You pick it up. So no, you've told the computer you're sick of it and you don't want to play this hole anymore. And they go, oh, mate, can you take that score back? Because I'd had only 5. So it's important, playing by the score part's important, but, the concept of, this is another example how newer golfers sort of still have to learn the concept. And they go, what's a mulligan? If a lot of people who have played golf overseas, understand the concept of a mulligan now. I think everyone understands the concept of a mulligan, and some other people will call it a breakfast ball. I can see you quivering in your seat at the sound of the concept, David. A mulligan, a free shot, or a breakfast ball, because you tee off early and it's breakfast time, so you get a freebie on the first tee, as if that was ever going to fly. But that's what happens, and rightly or wrongly, I think one of the greatest rules of golf. And that I'm a big Eric Anders Lang fan, and part of the Random Golf Club movement, Random Golf Club Melbourne and Scotland, which I'm involved in, and blah blah blah. He's got a rule that he's made up for the Random Golf Club people called 17B, and that rule is to laugh at the bad ones. And that's a really important part of it as well. It's just signifying that golf is fun, and so for me, if you're having fun and you're out there playing golf with your mates and you all play by the same rules of that day, fine. If you're playing comp, and you're playing at my course or playing at a comp that I'm playing in, well, then you got to play by the rules and you got to understand the rules. And it's like driving. You don't get to drive on the road unless you understand the road rules. You can drive around the paddock and your paddock basher and do that and have fun and learn how to turn, steer and drive and whatever. But once you get on the road, you got to play by the rules. So competition, very important. If you want to play in comps and you're getting your handicap and you're joining clubs, and this is all new stuff that's happening. I hear it every day. Spend some time, talk to Blakey, send him a question, and take this TikTok stuff seriously.
Yeah, it did sound like a bit of a rant, didn't it? But it wasn't quite like that. Well, I wasn't trying to mean it like that, but I guess you never do.
Blakey, always remember what's on my hat here, mate. From Gordon at Glorified Donkey. Keep it humble, mate. Keep it humble.
But there are times that I don't play by the rules when I'm out practicing, just drop another ball and I'm hitting 2 balls into a green, but I'm not keeping score. And
let's practice. It's different.
Probably what blows my mind the most is that these people comment, and you've hit the nail on the head. These people are actually passionate, and then they just don't want to be told that they're doing it wrong. But really, they're not doing it wrong if they're just playing social golf. If they're just playing with their friends and not handing in a card for handicapping to then go and play in a competition against someone who has played by the rules of golf, and not playing in an actual competition with all these other golfers. So I do enjoy the engagement, but it is quite funny. All these comments are just the time that they waste to comment when they could be, the rules of golf are so easy to learn, as in the basics are so easy to learn. The 99% that'll happen to you every time you play golf are just so easy. If you're watching the video here and you can see me with my player's edition of the rules of golf, and you want one of these, you don't have one, and you're listening, and you're whatever level of golfer, well, you can usually stump up to a golf club and they'll give you one. But if you want one, sing out, and Blakey will send you one. If you're in Australia, postage included. If you're overseas, go to your local golf authority, USGA, RNA, or whatever it is, and get one from them. But if you're in Australia, sing out, and Blakey will send you one. Actually, you know what? If you buy a cap or a hat, I'll send you a player's edition. I'm the Scottish one that's tight here, mate. You get those for free. Yeah, they're thinking they might not even have books next in a couple of years, but it's all free on the app as well. Well, exactly. No, they should, because I haven't touched a scorecard for months. Phones on the course 10 years ago. You said 10 years ago. It's like a year ago. Peninsula was like, you had your phone out taking photos like I like to do. It was like, no. And now, in post-COVID, I turned up and I was playing with one of the guys that runs, my club or whatever it's called, that run this app. And I hadn't played comp for a while. He'd obviously built the app. I turn up to the first tee going, "G'day, Chris, how you going?" Hand him my scorecard, and he sort of looked at me like I had caught, he was going to catch something. Like, we don't use those anymore, mate. Cards. No cards here. I was like, oh, geez, I better download the app then. He said, yeah, you better. And I said, I don't know how. Oh, I know how to download the app. I said, I can't remember my login. He said, oh, it's your membership number and all that. I said, I don't even remember what that is. It's all automatic and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I turned it on, started using it, and it drained my battery, and I was I had to fill in a scorecard. There you go. So that's why I probably had to buy a new phone, because it drained my battery, Blakey. Oh, you got a new phone, have you? Yeah, Samsung. Oh, which one? The big job. Yeah, I'm getting one next week. S21 takes great photos, Blakey. The Ultra 5G. If it's with me, with me, mate, it's Ultra. All right, anything. Yeah. Football Ultra, phone Ultra. Keep it humble. Thank you. Exactly. That's why I got the hat on. I'm allowed to go. All right, moving a loose impediment. Right. Getting back to educating people on the rules of golf. Let's run through this pretty quick, Blakey. I've got so I posted a video of myself playing at Corumburra the other day with Joey in match play. Actually, we posted the whole 11 minutes of a few swings. You can go and watch that on YouTube. Just that. With a bit of music there, that's mindfulness for you. There was one situation where I got the video down. Can I give you some feedback from the fans? What? We want shot tracer. Oh, right. Does Samsung, the 5G Ultra thingy, do that? I don't waste my time on shot tracer, Blakey. I'm just too busy taking photos of pretty golf courses. But no, the fans want shot tracers, so you can do that. Anyway, go on, carry on. So I posted a video of me trying to pick up a loose impediment. I did it successfully, thankfully. It was a piece of bark and didn't cause my ball to move, but posted a day and just wanted to give some more information about moving a loose impediment. So a loose impediment may be removed anywhere on or off the golf course, may be done so in any way. Remember, Roscoe, we've talked about moving loose impediments with blowers, which is actually permitted to do. But remember, you've got to be careful whether you cause your ball to move. There are two exceptions. It can't be done while the ball is in motion. So if you've hit your ball or another ball's in motion, don't move the loose impediment if it could potentially affect where the ball will come to rest. And it can't be done whilst a ball has been lifted. So if the moving of these loose impediments would have caused the ball to move when the ball is at rest in its position, then you can't do it when it's lifted. You've got to put the ball back and then have a go at trying to play pickup sticks. You're permitted to move a loose impediment in the area you're about to drop in. This is different to the requirement of replacing your ball that I just talked about. So if you're going to take a penalty drop or a drop from a cart path, you can pick up loose impediments, leaves, sticks, stuff like that before you drop. Now, you must be careful when moving a loose impediment, otherwise you may end up with a penalty. When will you not get a penalty if you cause your ball to move whilst moving a loose impediment? In the teeing area, there's no penalty if you cause your ball to move in the teeing area, even deliberately. On the putting green, it is most advisable that you mark your ball and then lift it before moving the loose impediment. However, sometimes it can't be actioned, such as if your ball is on top of a leaf or something like that. So there's no penalty if you cause your ball to move by moving a loose impediment on the putting green. When your ball is on the putting green, not just the loose impediment. During a search, if you're searching for your ball and don't know where it is, then if you move a loose impediment in what is considered a reasonable action to search for your ball, there is no penalty. And restoring worsened conditions and measuring when applying a rule, there's no penalty if you cause your ball to move when moving a loose impediment. When will you get a penalty for causing your ball to move by moving a loose impediment? In the fairway or rough or in a bunker or in a penalty that wasn't covered by one of the exceptions that I just read out. You may receive assistance to move a loose impediment. What's the most common or most, not common, most well-known situation about a loose impediment being moving? That's an either. What's Tiger, the most?
There's group of guys that moved the boulder. You know, those 85 guys moving the boulder for Tiger.
Yeah, and it's Brooks Koepka actually had it happen with him as well, and then I'm terrible, but someone else had it happen or had that occur for them on the European Tour as well. And you may break a loose impediment into parts when moving it. There is no penalty if you break the loose impediment. There you go. Loose impediments. Let me know if you got questions about that one.
And of course, we're talking about the rules applying to, social regular golfers. Of course, the moving loose impediments applies to everyone except Matt Kuchar and Patrick Reed. They get this. They have some level of dispensation, it would appear. But anyway, that's it applies to everyone.
I think else. I just saw a bus drive past.
There you go. Well, it's true.
Someone got pushed under.
It's true.
Well, actually, Matt Kuchar was at his best the other day with the Siwoo Kim ball overhanging the hole. Again, not understanding the rule. That was shocking.
Fill us in. Remind us.
Actually, have I not talked about that one? That's one of my favourites, the old ball overhanging the hole, and you get the reasonable time it takes to get to the hole, and then you get a further 10 seconds. And they stood and watched, and we've got the stewards put the countdown clock on the video, and we've uploaded it to YouTube. And 55 seconds they waited. 55 seconds they waited.
So Kuchar waiting for his ball to drop?
No, it was Siwoo waiting for his ball, but Kuchar was saying, it's moving. Well, under the rules, if the ball was overhanging the hole, after that reasonable time to get there, plus the 10 seconds, the ball is considered to be at rest. So you can make a stroke, you can mark it, you can do whatever. You're not going to get penalised for lifting a moving ball or playing at a moving ball. So, Kuchar was like, it's still moving.
I rest my case. So, okay, very good. Thanks for the update on that. Let's keep moving on and wrap this up, Blakey. So last week's background bingo, I think did anyone pick that up?
No, I didn't see anyone. Andrew Miller asked a question about it's easier. Well, I was asking a question, but I thought it was more of a statement. It was easier if they were our own photos that we'd taken. I wasn't sure if that was actually true or not, whether it is easier, but that was his comment. But he didn't actually end up giving me a answer. So yours was?
Well, you've made me question. I can't remember our photo. I think it was my photo. It was another Barnbougle one, wasn't it? So
did you do one? You said it was a Barnbougle one. Did you do a Barnbougle in When did you do?
I've done probably several barn burgles because.
Well, you have been there. Yeah, thank you for telling me again.
Here we go. Sorry about this delay in transmission. I'll just.
Oh yeah, no, you hadn't done one for a while.
I'm pretty sure it was another barn burgle picture that I took because I'm pretty obsessed with the joint. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, there. So I'm looking at last week's video where I had the Mile of Golf top on. It was definitely another barn burgle pic, which was my picture, as is this week's. Ian, this is another one, a picture taken by me. So have fun guessing that. One of my favourite photos.
All right. Well, everyone can try and guess that. And mine last week was the whole, or almost the whole, Eastern Golf Club. I actually took that photo when I was in a plane that my friend was flying. So we went into the city from Lilydale Airport. So,
there you go.
No, it wasn't Lilydale. It was the one Yarra Glen, I think it is.
Yarra Glen's a little light aircraft airport out there. Yep.
Yeah, is that Lilydale or is that Yarra Glen? Whatever. Anyway, so when we went into the city, I took that photo of Eastern, which is a 27-hole complex plus a 9-hole par 3 complex. So not a bad facility. And this week, have a go. I'm not giving any hints.
Cool. Okay. This week's Golf Rules question of the week. Let me bring it back up. Is that it? Eastern Golf Club? Yep. Okay, great. Little short question here, Blakey. Let me run with that. Okay, this is a GRQ OTW for episode 38. Is there a penalty, and how many, if you search for your ball for 5 minutes and can't find it? Intriguing. A short question, not a long question this week, a short question. Let me read it again. Is there a penalty, and how many, if you search for your ball for 5 minutes and can't find it? No other hints in that question, so there's a number of scenarios that could exist around that scenario. Just
don't read too much into it. Just answer it as it's written.
Blakey, is that us done?
That is us done. I just threw this one together, but obviously we talked longer. As I said, YouTube is going absolutely hot at the moment. Just thank everyone for listening and tuning in and engaging. And I really enjoy the people that do fight the good fight, is how I would say it. Try to tell those people that do make the comments that are stupid. And I don't mean asking questions. They're not stupid. They're never stupid. But just some of the comments and those people that fight the good fight of educating those that need to be educated.
Blakey, you are a rules crusader, and all power to you. Thank you this week again for tuning in. We just put this one together and just got it out there. Thanks for listening. As always, keep playing by the rules and do what my hat says, everyone. Keep it humble. We'll see you next week on the Golf Rules Questions podcast. Until then, enjoy your golf.